What's up, guys? Thanks so much for stopping by. So this video is going to be the first in an ongoing series that I would like to think is going to be kind of a companion series to Retro Game Lounge. On a side note, for those of you who tune into Retro Game Lounge and support it and leave all the great positive comments and feedback, guys, I cannot thank you enough. I think I speak for Chuck and myself on that, is that it's such a pleasure to be able to entertain you guys and just to get all the great positive feedback from you all. It's just such a treat that you guys dig it and that you dig something more specifically that we put so much of our heart and soul and energy and time into. Man, it's just such a blessing to get to entertain you guys, and just we all have a good time, just watching me and Chuck be jackasses on camera and play some old video games, check out some old school stuff. So again, thank you so much, guys. It's really such an honor, and don't worry, we've got plenty more coming. We're not running out of ideas, games, or time. With tons more coming. So if you like that series, yeah, stay tuned. Okay, so what are we going to do here today? We're going to be doing a new series that I'm going to call Retro Game Hall, RGH. And it's, like I said, going to be kind of a companion series to Retro Game Lounge, as you'll see a few things that kind of tie into Retro Game Lounge. For those of you who are unfamiliar with haul videos are kind of their own entity on YouTube, where not just with games, with clothes, just all kinds of stuff, pretty much anything in the consumer world. But particularly the ones that I like to watch are the ones that feature retro games. And I guess you could say it was more or less started by Pat the NES Punk. I'm sure any of you who watch Retro Game Lounge know who he is. He kind of started, the game hunting, kind of video series where he'd take his camera, and he'd go to flea markets and yard sales and stuff like that, and just show everyone, the scores that he gets. And I like watching those videos. I like watching the Game Chasers and some of the other guys out there who do similar videos, and it's just kind of cool to see what the other collectors out there who collect the same things that I do are into. The kind of scores that they get, the rare finds and collectibles and things like that. It's really cool. I really enjoy those. And so, since, we're doing Retro Game Lounge now, we're part of the retro gaming community. I know we're the new guys on the block, but, I thought that I would, throw my hat in the ring here and, contribute a haul video or two, just showing you guys, my fellow collectors out there, and anyone else who wants to watch, the things that I picked up, just the little knickknacks, games, collectibles and stuff here and there, and tell you a little bit about them. So we got a few things to cover here. I've been pretty busy this week, going here and going there. Why don't we start with, I got these 4 NES games at a local store of mine that actually sells used books, what do they sell? CDs, movies, and stuff. I'm sure they have stores like this in your area. They're kind of, an American thing. Just all kinds of stuff like that. And they actually have a part of the store that sells older consoles. Older games, old Nintendos, Segas, and stuff like that. And I just kind of happened in there once, and I was like, oh, let me check out what they got. And I stopped in there recently because their inventory turnover is pretty high, and I picked up a few things. So, first, we have Bases Loaded. Really cool game, man. Really fun baseball game for the NES. Probably one of the first baseball games I ever played. I think I might have, excuse me, I got something in my eye. I might have played a baseball game on the Atari, but I'm pretty sure this was one of the first ones I played on the Nintendo, if not the first one. Got this for 50 cents. Can't beat that, man. 50 cents for any NES game you don't have is a freaking sweet deal. If you find one, you're a collector like I am, buy it. Okay, and then we got the original TMNT game, as made notorious by Mr. James Rolfe, the angry video game nerd. Didn't really buy this one because it's a really great game. It's not really a great game, but did I play this when I was a kid? Yes. Did I think it was cool? Yes, because I didn't know shit about shit. I was just a little kid. But it is kind of cool to pop it in there and rock a little nostalgia. It's just, it kind of takes me back to my childhood a little bit. And for the price that they were asking, since I didn't have it and the label's in great shape, I really couldn't turn it down. It was $3. For a game you don't have, and for a major one like this, like Ninja Turtles, if you love that stuff when you were a kid, this is definitely one you gotta have in your collection, so really cool. Okay, and then we got one that is more than likely gonna make its way to a future episode of Retro Game Lounge. Silkworm. Sure, not a lot of you remember this. Chuck was really excited when he saw that I'd picked this one up. Pretty cool co-op game, actually. One of you gets to play as the little kind of Humvee Jeep, and the other person gets to play as a helicopter. So you got one guy in the air, one guy on the turf. Your standard kind of side-scroller type deal, and you just shoot the shit out of things, man. It's really, really cool. I think would make a really interesting episode of Retro Game Lounge, so to be continued. This one I think was $5. You know, pretty good deal. Label's in great shape, not too bad. Then we got Super Offroad. I'm sure a lot of you remember this one, and in case you didn't catch it, right there, 4-player action on this one. So if you have the NES Satellite or the NES 4-score, I have both personally, you can rock 4 players on this one, man. Really cool. That was a really kind of a novelty thing when the NES came out. I know we kind of take it for granted now, you know, having 4 players. But, you know, back then that was actually really unusual. So really cool racing game. This one I think was $4. So pretty sweet deal. Okay, so that wraps that up for that particular store. We got a couple that I got off on eBay, a trio. 2 of these I got from the same seller. Any of you who watched the Jimbo's Man Cave Tour video where I just show you the collection and stuff like that, you know that I collect the NES black box titles. I'm trying to get all of them. I think at the time of that video I had 21 out of the 30 that exist, and I was able to get another one, so 22 out of 30 now. Good old Excitebike. I used to love this game when I was a kid, man. It was really cool. I had it on Game Boy as well, man. I used to just love this, you know, just getting to do the stunts and stuff like that. It's really cool game. $8 on eBay with shipping, so pretty good deal. Label's in really good shape, and again, it's a black box title. 22 out of 30, man. I'm almost there. And from the same seller, I got Super Star Wars for Super Nintendo. Used to play the crap out of this game, man. I just absolutely loved it. It's such a cool shooter. You know, LucasArts was involved in the making of this game. It was put out by JVC, but LucasArts had a hand in it. And it was just a really fun game. You know, you get to play as Chewie, as Luke, as Han Solo. You know, you get lightsabers, you get blasters, man. It's really cool. They actually made 3 of these, you know, 3 of the original titles, Super Empire Strikes Back and Super Return of the Jedi. So hope to get those someday so I can kind of complete the original trilogy, and looking forward to playing this one. Okay, we got one more eBay haul. Ghosts and Goblins, really super cool. Notoriously hard game from Capcom. I never actually beat this when I was a kid. It was really fucking hard. I don't think I ever got past like stage 3 actually. I mean, it's just relentlessly difficult. And for the price that the seller was asking, I think it was $8 shipped for one with a good label and a game you don't have, man, that's a really great deal. And you know, maybe I'll get another chance to, you know, to play it and maybe beat it someday. You know, kind of fulfill a childhood wish. So we'll see. All right, now, actually, let's go over here first. Okay, so some of you may remember this, the Turbo Vision. That was in the Man Cave video. Excuse me. Got it in the box for $5, and something dawned on me actually that I didn't mention in the video. I couldn't, even if I had a Turbo Express right now, I couldn't use this because they don't broadcast analog TV waves anymore. Like, it's all digital now, so if you don't have a digital antenna, it won't work. It would just be static. So, you know, it's kind of, it's now the definition of an antiquated piece of technology because it doesn't even work. So that's crazy, you know. I mean, not that I was really planning on using it. I just thought for $5, you know, with the orange and black, the TurboGrafx 16 colors, it looked really cool on the shelf next to the rest of my TurboGrafx 16 games and memorabilia. So following along that same logic, I got the Turbo Link in the box. This was $10. And just really cool. This actually will work. I doubt I'll ever find anyone who's actually got a Turbo Express and the same game I do, and a 2-player game no less, to be able to play this. But you know what? It's in the box. I love the orange and black, man. Orange is my favorite color, guys. You know, that's why my logo is orange. Just looks really cool, you know, on the shelf, and it's really a really cool collectible. And to wrap it up, I think this is the last accessory for the Turbo Express, the car adapter. Definitely the biggest one. Got the biggest box. This one actually has the original price still on it, $39.99 from Babbage's. I don't know if any of you guys remember that. Probably the majority of you don't. But $40 back then for an accessory was actually a lot. I mean, that would be a lot today for a car adapter. You know, so, I mean, the TurboGrafx stuff was definitely not cheap. And I just thought, you know, I've got the other 2 things in the box. Why not complete the trifecta? You know, I've got the 3 basic accessories for it. And again, orange and black looks really cool on the shelf. So, really cool. Alright, so let's move on to a little haul that I got from Craigslist, actually, from this nice lady. And she was just selling a few, excuse me, Nintendo-related stuff. And I came upon her ad and just made her an offer, and she accepted it. And I actually just picked these up today. Really, really cool collectibles. First, start with this one. TMNT 3 in the box, and man, this is a really good condition box, guys. Not a lot of wear and tear on it. This is definitely one of my better boxes. Unfortunately, it doesn't have the manual, but a few bucks on eBay will change that. For the price I paid for this, man, I really got a steal. 15 bucks for this in the box. On eBay, it would be at a minimum twice that much, maybe even $40, because the boxes for these are so rare, and not a lot of people had this game. You know, this wasn't super popular because of the year it was released. It was kind of bridging the gap between Nintendo and Super Nintendo, so you know, it was really kind of close to that, so not a lot of people got it. I never had it as a kid, actually, but really cool to have in the box. I love having the box for these things. Then we have good old Gauntlet 2 in the box. Yet another 4-player game, so I can rock 4 people on this one. Really great condition box, guys. The flaps are in really good shape. Not a lot of age on this. Again, unfortunately, does not have the manual, but a few bucks on eBay will quickly solve that. Just a really cool game. Love the Gauntlet series, man. Kind of the original 4-player co-op game. Just really, really cool. And for 10 bucks, can't beat it. Then we have Double Dragon 3 in the box again. Fantastic condition box, man. You can't argue with this. Again, does not have the manual, but a few bucks on eBay, we can fix that. Did not own this game as a kid, but did play it as a kid. One of my neighbors had it, and not the best Double Dragon game. Just kind of strayed a little bit too far from the beat 'em up, in my opinion. But still nostalgic nonetheless, and you know, it's cool to have it in the box regardless, so very cool. And she had one more thing that I basically just had her throw in for only a few dollars since I didn't own it. Label's a little bit beat up, but if I don't drop it here. Good old DuckTales. You can't go wrong with DuckTales, man. It was such an easy game to beat, even if you were a little kid, and you felt like a freaking champ. You know, when you got done with it, you're like, yeah, I beat it. You know, it didn't take a long time to beat it, because back then, guys, there weren't really a lot of games that you actually could beat. You know, the list of those was actually kind of short. So it was really cool, you know, just to be able to do that and kind of, you know, empower yourself. Like, yeah, beat the game. And it's just really fun. Definitely one of my favorite Disney games, so really cool. I think I paid like $6 for this. So, cool stuff. Okay, so we saved the best for last, ladies and gents. If I can find it. Okay. First, Golden Axe 2, complete in the box. Game, manual, everything. Sega was really ahead of their time with their box design, because you know, the main difference between them and Nintendo on box design, the Nintendo boxes are cool, you know, the artwork's cool, they're very collectible, they're really neat, I love looking at them, to me they're a little piece of art, but at the end of the day, guys, they're cardboard. The Sega boxes, you know, this is good and tough plastic, and to be honest, this is kind of the prototype for the type of game case that we use today on modern games. You know, Xbox 360, PlayStation 3, Wii U, they all more or less use, you know, a clamshell type of game. You know, it's a little bit, you know, thinner because it's not a cartridge anymore, it's on discs, but Sega is pretty much the guys that, the group that pioneered this type of game case, and that's why you can find a lot more of these cases still in great condition, simply because of what they're made out of. So Sega case is not quite as valuable as Nintendo cases. I mean, even a Nintendo box by itself is worth $10. You know, a Sega case, typically only a few bucks if it's not one of the rare ones. But price on this one, $10. Can't beat it, man, for Golden Axe 2, man. What a cool game. So, I was thinking, what else could go better with Golden Axe 2, complete in the box, than the original Golden Axe 2 poster. Man, what cool artwork, dude. Looks like a Frank Frazetta painting or something, like one of the old Conan novels. Got your Sega ads on the back, Sonic, you know, all the usual stuff, all the usual Genesis stuff. But I was thinking I might actually get this one hard mounted, you know, on some foam so I can hang it on the wall of the Retro Game Lounge. Thought that'd be really cool. I love the artwork on these old games, man. It's just they don't do them like they used to. $5 on this one, man. Can't beat that, dude, for just such a really cool piece of retro game artwork, man. Really awesome. So, that about wraps it up for this episode of Retro Game Haul. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Stay tuned for more episodes of Retro Game Lounge, and I'm going to do little haul episodes here and there just to kind of fill in the blanks, you know, show you guys the little collectibles and things that I'm picking up. Thanks so much for stopping by, and I guess I'll see you next time.